Hello, my friends. Welcome to Been My Pleasure. My name is JC, and today we're going to introduce you to another one of my pixelated friends who just worked this weekend and might have something to get off his chest for his Monday moan. Hello, my friends. Joining me today is my pixelated friend,
Hashtag player pimp.
hashtag player pimp, son.
Sure.
And hashtag player pimp is a friend of mine whom I've worked with in the past. Hashtag player pimp at a family dining establishment. We'll call it a casual dining restaurant. And he is going to tell us. Here we are at Been My Pleasure last call. We've just worked a shift. Not we, but you just worked a shift. And is there anything you'd like to get off your chest and tell our viewers at home about?
Well, nothing specific with my last shift. I actually had quite a good weekend. Especially with casual dining establishments, it can really be back and forth. Sometimes you have really good weekends, sometimes you have terrible weekends, depending on a lot of things. You can give great service and be in a great mood the entire weekend and still have a terrible night just because when you're in a casual dining establishment with a low check average, sometimes you just get the wrong people, and that's the way it is. The people that should be shopping at Safeway instead of going out to eat because they're obviously too broke to afford to go out.
So everything was pretty good for you today?
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good weekend. Made good money, everything was good, positive attitude, got enough sleep. Pretty pleasant guest, nobody too ridiculous.
No drunk girls hitting on you all night long?
With me, sometimes I pray to the tip gods and other various restaurant dining gods. If you're super religious, pardon my views, I guess. And with me at least, I either go for please see hot girls in my section or give me really good tips. And I usually only get one or the other.
You're not asking for much.
And I come there for money. So if I don't get a bunch of hot girls in my section and they end up in his section, which happens quite often since we've been working together, I'm not mad, it's okay. As long as I'm making good money, I'm not that angry. But it does happen on occasion. I do get random drunk girls coming in lonely, but I don't know. Straying off the topic.
No, I could totally see how somebody who is drunk hitting on you all night long would be a problem.
It does happen. They usually tip well, too, so I'm not mad about that either. But no, it's a good weekend, actually. It's been especially down here in Arizona, past month or two has been pretty productive. And it's been making a lot of money, whatnot. Last week wasn't too great, but that's alright.
Yeah, it'll come around.
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
We are in the middle of the busy season. We're doing this, Been My Pleasure last call after the end of the shift because it's the only time we really have to do it. It is the middle. We just finished February, so spring training is upon us. We're going to be very, very busy for the next month. I believe I touched on this a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to have a lot of snowbirds here still. So a lot of the elderly who have a home here, who reside here in the winter and then go to whatever state or country or nation that they go back to when the heat rises above 100. And we also have a lot of spring training personnel here, both players and guests from out of town. It's my favorite time of year because I'm a big baseball guy, but it can be very problematic. Over the next month, we'll be extremely busy with those guests, people who have gotten their refund checks, and instead of going to Safeway, as one might presume they should if they were saving money to go forward, they will be coming in to dine with us. So there will be a lot of people who don't regularly go out to a dining experience who are out there. And we'll discuss how to address people who might fall into that category for our tips for tips, because everybody deserves the same quality service wherever you go.
Yeah, but if you're broke, go get more money. Don't go out to eat. If you can't afford to go out to eat, learn how to cook. It's a lot cheaper. You can still impress your girlfriend with a nice home-cooked meal, and then it's even more personal. You set the dining table, do all that. You're only spending $10 going to buy food, and you're not pissing off a bunch of servers. So
right.
Yeah.
He didn't even bring up the whole tipping thing. He's just saying if you really can't afford to go out, then maybe you shouldn't go out. And I get that. Everybody does that from time to time.
We all make that decision. You might not have a great job, and I understand that. And it's perfectly fine. At least from my point of view, if you can't afford to do something, you don't need to do it. Or at least don't do it. On occasion I see that, but when you go out on the regular, learn how to cook.
Learn how to cook.
Yeah. Learn how to cook.
That'll save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me on the Monday Moan today, my friends. We have 2 more segments coming up with hashtag Broham. What was it?
Hashtag player pimp.
Hashtag player pimp. We got 2 more. We got a letter from a guest, and he's going to give us some tips for tips. If you'd like to see more like that, then by all means, click on my pixelated friend's face. If you've enjoyed this so far, give us a thumbs up. And if you've not, give us a thumbs down. If your feelings are more complex than that, leave a comment below. Until next time, however, my name is JC. I assure you, it's been my pleasure.
I'll be waiting for your comments.